Maybe one of the coolest moments for both dad and son. How about this after the race? 4-year-old Brexton going for a championship ride with dad. Look at how excited he is. Kyle Busch joining us now.
Yeah.
And your first championship, Brexton was only 6 months old, so obviously didn't know what was happening. How much does he understand what just happened tonight?
He's a bit more understanding tonight. It was really, really awesome. But yeah, when we were here the first time, he had no sense, no clue of what was happening. But I hope that him being 4.5, I don't remember a whole lot of things from 4.5, but I do think I remember a couple things. I'd have to put the year to it, but I hope he can keep this with him for a long, long time. And obviously there's HD video nowadays, so the video quality is really good versus when I was 4 years old, or even you guys maybe. But
look at that! Look at that!
Yeah, he was so pumped to do. He asked me, you know, he was like, "Hey, buddy, he was like, "Hey, Dad, can I go for a ride with you?" And I asked the NASCAR guys, I was like, hey, can we do that? You know, so they allowed us to do that. So obviously very appreciative of that opportunity for us and for him. And that's cool, really cool.
So cool.
Yeah, look, when I was 4, they didn't have video. They just drew pictures. They just drew pictures.
Yeah.
You know how you do it with a book and it just,
yeah.
You know, so, 2. I know you've thought about it. What does it mean?
Honestly, I haven't thought about it because I didn't want to get too disappointed in the moment if it didn't happen. So, but to be a 2-time champion, I mean, it just means so much to me and to my race team. I mean, yes, I get to take the notoriety and hold the trophy or whatever, but my guys is what it's all about for me, and being able to win a championship with all of them, with Adam Stevens. And the race calls today on the box, you know, we didn't start off flashy or anything there, the fire off, but when the lights came on and the nighttime set in, car really came to life, felt really good. The adjustments kept helping each and every time, and we were up front when it mattered most and led all the way to the end there.
Hey, so you only got 50 minutes of practice yesterday afternoon. Did it give you a sense, though, that what you know and in your experience here in trying to win this race, that you had something close enough that you could go out and make the difference and make those adjustments when you needed to?
So when we unloaded yesterday, we were really loose off the truck, and I was like, oh, damn, just like last year, you know, we were too loose and we could never get the entry right. And we worked on it a few times, and when we made some adjustments to it in practice, we got the entry fixed and we got it on the tight side. And I was like, all right, well, okay, we've been on the loose side, we've been on the tight side, so now we just got to find the right side. And we were able to do that. Even firing off for the race today, like we were a little bit loose and a little bit out of the track to begin with, but that's kind of typical how we fire off in some of these races. But we were able to keep up front there, 4th, 5th, whatever it was with the track position. And then guys had some awesome pit stops today, and the car just kept coming to me, made some good moves on a restart, racing around some of our competitors, our main competition. And it was fun. It was good to get out there, get to the lead.
And people are going to talk about the similarities between this and 15. And even though everything you came over, and I heard some things on the thing, and we were talking about, some people were saying, well, you know, that you felt like there might be an asterisk beside that one. And I'm like, there is. It says greatness. That's what that asterisk says, because that was phenomenal that year. But when you look at the regular season, when you look at the wins in the playoffs, when you look at, did it have that same feel rolling in here? Adam Stevens said he had a feeling all week long, that he just had a special feeling. When
I'm glad he didn't tell me.
Yeah, but did it have a feel like 15 for you?
It did. You know, we I think we won, was it the Brickyard last in 15, and then we came here and won in Homestead, and this year we won Pocono just a couple weeks earlier than the Brickyard. But you know what's crazy about all that is, I still have yet to ask him this, but was he holding anything back through the playoff races and not giving me the full equipment that I needed to get the job done? But no, I'm sure those rumors will swirl. But no, to me it was very similar. Yes. And honestly, we came in here kind of as the underdog. You know, a few other people kind of mentioned that and whatnot, and kind of being not as fast or not as flashy as the other guys were when they were able to win races and contend up front. But we went to Phoenix, we did our job, we executed, we just got beat by the 11. And then coming into this weekend, I did all my same prep and everything that I need to do to try to get my mind right, and how you got to run this place, and some of the notes that I've had from years past, and what it takes to get around here.
Kyle, before the race, during our pre-race show, we ran the Behind the Driver where Steve Letarte was interviewing, your dad came out, and you talked about the special bond that y'all had and how he got you started. And we made mention that you literally drove a car, a Legends car, when you were 13 years old. And then in just 3 years, in 16, you were driving trucks. I mean, it's phenomenal, the story that you have and how good you have been and how you've just, I mean, I don't know where all this talent comes from your dad, but your family certainly has shown to be great champions of this sport.
Yeah, thank you. We obviously we've been blessed, and the great Lord gave me my talents and the opportunities that presented themselves to me to be able to go and accept offers and rides and things like that to get to this spot today. But there's been none other bigger supporter besides my family than Coach Joe Gibbs, and that guy right there has been amazing and has helped me a long ways and gotten me to this point and has put me on this moment. So with my dad and the things that he was able to do with me as a youngster and to teach us right, I mean, I was in the garage since I was 6, 7 years old working on race cars. Kurt was 15, so I would have been about 8, and I was learning to weld. I was welding bumpers together. I was welding kickouts. We were putting together. We went down to the Dwarf Car Company in Phoenix, Arizona, and picked up a bare chassis with a body on it and brought it back home and built everything ourselves, you know. And so it was just that's how we did things. And so I understand. I'm not an engineer, but I understand a little bit about vehicle dynamics just based off of feel. And for as much as I drove and raced and everything that I did drive and race, I was always helping along the way. Like, I'd always ask my dad, I'm like, hey, what if we went to the track this week with a softer right front spring? And he goes, well, why do you want to do that? Like, he would question everything that I thought about and wanted to do. And I think that being able to do that and then to get some of the answers and to feel those feelings back within the race car was what made me who I am today.
But wait, didn't your mom want you to be a dentist?
She did, yeah. It was either an orthodontist, I think, or a dentist or something in that nature, yeah. So I'm glad.
She's okay with the way this has turned out, though?
I think she is now, yeah. I mean, maybe a few years ago.
A second championship?
Yeah. I don't know if I've sold her on anything, really, but there was, so when I was a kid, let's see, I was 14, just 13, 14, just getting started with racing, and I was playing Little League Baseball and just started racing. And so you had practices with baseball, you had games on Fridays, you had racing on Friday nights, you had racing on Saturdays, you had games on Saturdays. So my dad finally sat me down and he's like, look, man, you are killing your grandmother. You've got to pick one or the other. Like, you want to be a baseball player or you want to be a race car driver? And I was like, well, I guess I'll go this route. This seems like a little more fun. So I guess it's turned out all right.
Good choice.
Okay, now we have Jimmy Johnson with 7, and you with 2. The only 2 guys on the circuit right now with 50-plus wins and multiple championships. Can you see 7 from where you're standing right here?
I don't know. I'd have to go 5 in a row. I'd have to get there quick. You know, I'm not getting any younger, that's for damn sure. But overall, I mean, anything's possible. Yeah. You know, you set your mind to it, and you know, you set your goals, and when you reach those goals, you set them higher, and you keep going. You know, you just keep always achieving and keep always reaching, and you know, that's just what we do. So obviously, being 9th on the all-time win list, I got a long ways to go before the next one was 76. Is that what I saw? Yeah. So obviously, it's just one at a time, one race at a time, one win at a time, one championship at a time. That's as quick as we can do it. So hopefully next year can be ours too.
Kyle, a lot of the talk this week.
Get me out of trouble. Say
hi to Pat.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Miss Gibbs. We love you. Thank you so much.
Hey, Mom, she couldn't come this way. Everybody else is here. Everybody in the family. Got me out of trouble. Thank goodness. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
I was just going to ask about it. We talked all week about J.D. Gibbs, and of course, most of that attention with Denny because that's who found him. But he was certainly a big part of helping get you there too and running that organization.
He was. I don't know. I've never spoken to Joe about it. I've never asked him whether it was J.D. or him that was the bigger push on bringing me to Joe Gibbs Racing. It doesn't matter to me, but obviously JD was there. He was president there when all the time came, and we got the Redskins jersey, and you know, he announced that the #1 draft pick for JGR was myself, and that was really, really awesome. And I have had tremendous of opportunities and was blessed to be around such a great man and an honorable man, and one that took care of his family and loved the Lord and everything in the way that he did. So, you know, there's a lot to be said about him and his kids that were here tonight. Every time I see those, I remember Jackson. This is funny because I remember Jackson when he was 6, 7 years old when I just came over to Joe Gibbs Racing. And we went to some truck races, and he'd come to the pits and sit around, whatever. He went on the pit box and sat on Samantha's lap for a few times. Now that won't fly.
That doesn't work, man. That doesn't work.
So I've known them for a long time. For as crazy as it is, I guess I've been there 12 years now, so it's been fun.
Yeah, now, just because you got 2 championships, don't blow us off on Motor Mouse, okay, man?
My price tag went up.
Give it up, man. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch joining us. And what I like is when he saw that all-time wins list, he talked about you always set your goal the next level.
That's right.
You didn't look all the way. You looked at the next one. Who's the next one I got to get? He said 56 to 76, already setting his sights there. And how about the irony? Not
Trust
lost
me,
on
I
us.
thought about 100.
I know you have.
You got to set it way out there. So
But then you take one step at a time.
You do one step at a time.
And the irony is not lost on us that your mom wanted you to be a dentist and you're sponsored by a candy company.
Yes, perfect.
Well, it kind of works that way. I have my fair share of M&Ms, trust me. So
They're all over the place down there.
Yes, they sure are.
Kyle Busch, the 2019
sounds like a chocolate factory back there.
Monster Energy champion.
Hey Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.